Alright, so I think I'm on I came up with a decision or a conclusion that I was going to stick with my channel. Only reason being is because I don't know, maybe I don't like to I just still use this as a personal vlog, but I'm just gonna keep going, keep moving forward. I think the conclusion that I came up with about migrating to probably a new channel, that's still my intention. But I still believe that there's still more for me to do here, being that I've already established some things. But I'll start implementing my new ideas in a new direction. But as far as this channel, I'm gonna stick with it. Stick with it. Now, man, I've been going through some things. I ain't gonna say really going through some things, like not dealing with like depression or dismay or anything like that. Sometimes it'll take, I'll choose to digress from some things. Like say I had been moving forward in a unorganized way, and then I had been dealing with these nocturnal emissions, so I realized that my diet wasn't all the way up to par. And my intentions to take up nobility is something that I want to move forward in. And I realized that I'm not necessarily lonely. I'm not just as enthused as I am when I'm operating amongst the party thereof. Like sometimes that'll, I don't know, it'll inspire my accountability, you know? And it's not that I'm not consistent with what I do. I just want to write myself meaningful upon the lives of others. So if you do recall me speaking about, I think just the things that I've consumed, stuff like that, me having those nocturnal emissions, I felt like I had need to detox and I guess change my diet. And I haven't been having those problems, but I also had been fell into lust in a degree. But I don't think I say I really fell into lust. It's not really so much as that. I think that I wanted to take this time out to allow myself, in a sense, not purging, but just allow myself to just flow with the energies thereof. You know what I'm saying? And not really so much be so strenuous in me trying to implement nobility in my life. And these things come with time, like those time intervals, and change just happens for me. Like I find myself, I remember when I, back in the day, I said I would never stop smoking weed. I'd never stop smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm now at this point where I would never go back to smoking. Never. Now that's something I'm just concrete and not ever doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't even feel like I will ever deliberately alter my sobriety. Like drinking, nah, I ain't never been a drinker. So I never, get into drinking. You know what I mean? And to just look for a high, nah. Now I find that sexual intercourse is also like a drug. That's a high all in itself too. I got to this point of maturity in my sexuality to where I don't approach sexuality and sexism and things like that the same. I don't have the same interaction or exchange as the average person if they were to undergo sexual intercourse or go through sexual acts. I wouldn't approach it in the same way. I think spiritually, I've got to this point to where my exchange is different. So now my intent and my incentives are written in a totally different way or manner. So I find myself, I guess, releasing to detox. That was the intention at first. And then I went further into my indulgence to call masturbating. You know what I'm saying? I went further into that. And in my experience of doing this, I realized that, you know, I'm always self-examining myself. And in my observation of just examining every aspect in detail of the actions that I took. You know what I'm saying? How it impacts me, how my body, my mind, you know, responds, how I am before and after arousal, things like that. You know what I'm saying? How I interact with the world when I'm in this state of mind, and how I interact in the world after that state of mind. You know what I'm saying? And I got to this point where it's not hard for me to make a decision to put down, you know, masturbation. I think that that's something I've actually had a strong hold over now that I'm not binded by. So, you know, being cordial, upholding my professionalism with the opposite sex is not something that I would have to wrestle with through enticement. You know what I'm saying? And maybe because, like, even before, I think growing up, and at the time I used to be like this guy that I had female friends who were comfortable with themselves. I was hustling back in the day, and they just seen me as like a good friend, somebody to kick it around, and at the same time, they felt secure around me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that type of dude that had my head in my pants all the time, you know? And girls just felt comfortable being around me, you know, and, you know, some of the girls, they were dancers, and it turned into a big thing because I knew guys that had money, and, you know, like, that was just a thing. So, like, just having my experience of being seasoned with women, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really enticed the way that the average person would be enticed due to the lifestyle I come from, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing all in itself that I think became very beneficial for me now today in my maturity, in my walk. So lust is not necessarily lust whenever I approach sexuality, pretty much. But just on that topic, you know, I even got to the point to where I've learned about just getting into a climatic state and why people become nymphos and stuff like that because of the high. You know, that climatic state is also in high, or in a high, or is it high? You know what I'm saying? And me, in observation of that climatic state, I still also learned in a spiritual aspect of how heightened my senses were after things, you know what I'm saying? And how in tune I can be in meditation, certain things like that. And I mean, I got, well, back in my past, that's something I used to exercise. And man, like, there's so much information that I've learned, you know, from a woman, you know, especially from women who are open to, in that area, to educate, you know. And me being a man nowadays, I approach things differently. So my incentives are different, you know. I'm not promoting that you practice these things because, you know, people can be totally mentally unstable and not know how to come into exchange with that type of action or gesture, you know what I'm saying? I'm only expressing that me desiring to take up nobility in life, although I'm in a situation that I'm in, all right? I found myself kind of trying to deliberately do away with passion. You know what I'm saying? Or control my passion. Now, in my desires, of controlling my desires, I have become very stable in so many different areas mentally. But, okay, I found that I realized that I was kind of being manipulative. You know what I'm saying? Not like trying to will myself into heaven, but I just found myself being, in a sense, like trying to take up nobility in a different way when it's not really, it's out of benevolence and it's out of my actual love for God. You know what I'm saying? But I think that me trying to will certain things that I need to still, it's like saying, how could I ever get to doing or being some bodybuilder, right? Say I'm trying to be a bodybuilder, all right? And I'm just up trying to go to 250 pounds lifting weight when I never actually went through the necessary motions of of falling short at 150 pounds, falling short at 175 pounds, falling short at 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? These necessary dissensions, or I would say these necessary shortcomings, are very, very relevant and vital to my growth or my walk. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we must be tried and refined in a certain area to see, to try our will, our earnestness, our actual diligence in trying, and our, into pressing forward. You know what I'm saying? And the things of accomplishing things at a further aspect in life. You know what I'm saying? At a more elaborate, degree in life. You know what I'm saying? And I just, something that I've learned. So now my receptivity is different when I come in contact with the contrary. When I come in contact with things that are detestable, that will would, in a sense, pollute or mar my blemish, my image. You know what I'm saying? These certain things of having to, like a form of having to go out to sow, and not going out to sow, but not expecting to get dirty. Get his hands dirty. Like the graveling is necessary. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, allow myself to go. There's coming into exchange with the contrary is something that God is bringing us to the maturity of, in which this is the reason why we were exposed to what we call darkness or perversion. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a maturity that requires you to have to come into a contact with in order to learn how to grow or learn the identity of such, and knowing how to come into exchange with such energy, and knowing how to not only just overcome that, but coincide with such a subjection in life. You know what I'm saying? Like me having to encounter or exchange with everyday living in prison, and being around certain people with intentions they're totally committed to, perverse intentions. You know what I'm saying? Totally committed to, certain mannerisms of living. And I have to still learn how to be cordial with society, be cordial with the contrary. You know what I'm saying? Those different type of lifestyles that I don't approve of. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like I'm having to mutually come into contact with them by choice. This is something that is forced upon me. I'm subjected by that. You know what I'm saying? So I have to learn how to be in an actual cordial exchange with all energies. You know what I'm saying? All mannerisms of being. I have to learn how to maneuver, how to navigate, I have to learn how to do these things. You know what I'm saying? In a more appropriate way, and also grow and be a great diagram in showing people how to grow. You know what I'm saying? In a better light thereof. You know, that's all on who's wrong though. You know what I'm saying? For those who are just totally committed to standing opposed to what I believe in, it's still a mutual respect that should be established in your demeanor, in your integrity, in your dignity. You know what I'm saying? So although I might witness myself responding or performing certain acts that may not be plausible, or find myself or witness myself falling short in certain areas, I'm at a state of maturity to where I can allow the experience and still keep my sanity or my dignity, or keep my intentions intact enough to press forward in the same direction. You know what I'm saying? In the same belief system that I initially, or before or prior that I had prior to coming into the exchange with whatever energy I come into exchange with. So all impacts are still an influence. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just at this point where I'm like, okay, let me continue to write myself meaningful before my God, and allow my channel to still service as an altar. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I just figured like, all right, let me go ahead and make notice that I'm gonna still press forward in my endeavor with this channel. Also with me making some new implementations in another direction on another channel. So whenever I get that going, you'll know. I've already come up with like somewhat a diagram and framework of how I'm finna, approach the channel. But I don't know how I'm gonna implement my first video yet until maybe it's when I get home. I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? But until next time, I'm still at work here, and I hope some of this information is beneficial or useful in any type of way. I mean, I'm in an experience where I'm undergoing constriction, like prison. So me being who I am as an individual, I still don't have fear in disclosing my actual personal life. And I don't have fear in just showing that I'm human. I don't have fear in showing my ups and downs. I don't have fear in showing me looking good at days and me looking rugged at days, not being able to have a haircut, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have fear in these things. You know what I'm saying? We all have a life, we all have just every different, we all have our formalities of being, you know what I'm saying? And in our everyday life, it's not gonna always look good and perfect. It's not gonna, I'm not here to dress it up and just make it all look glamoury, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to just be as authentic as I can about the identity of who I am. And that's all there is to it, I do want to add that I have decided to, extend myself to certain people in life. And in my endeavors, I've always learned that, I learned how to just do my job and step back. So whenever I decide to or just be like, hey, or make a proposal, or just compliment somebody in passing, or, just make a proposal, or just present myself before someone. I'm always meaningful. I'm always earnest about my intentions. You know what I'm saying? But if a person chooses to be like, you know what I'm saying? I choose, not to engage. I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? I know how to just shake the dust off my feet and be on about what's next with God, And that's just me not having and possessing things. You know what I'm saying? So I may have many ideas, and I may have a foresight to see the potentiality in an individual. and I may make a proposition or make a proposal to that person, and that person chooses not to engage. I'm never like feeling away, I'm just maturity, just knowing how to, agree to disagree and go about my business. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you who can say that I've approached you and be like, this person is, tried to get at me or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Speaking for us females, you know what I'm saying? Just understand that doesn't stipulate my value, or doesn't appraise my worth about who I am because I come off like a liability due to my circumstance. That doesn't, appraise me as that. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't do anything to my esteem if it's something that may have been deliberate for you to reject. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't do anything with my esteem. And I'm just here to just set forth a meaningful life and write myself meaningful upon who's in agreement with who I am. You know what I'm saying? And that's all there is to it. But until next time, man, you know what to do, man. Man, like, share, and follow the page, man. That's all I ask. And help me go live. You know what I'm saying? Just help me go live. And I can show you how authentic this thing really gets. You know what I'm saying?